All right. Loading up, loading up, loading up. Testing all my stream locations on the multi-stream network. Hello, world. How are you today? So, we're going to be doing some gray hack and probably jamming out a little bit. Now, I want to give a spew, right? I'm a programmer. That's all I am. Although I remember in my early days back in the early 2000s, I would gradually get into some communities that eventually didn't exist anymore. In fact, it's very weird at some places online that I used to go to. Let me check again if it's gone completely. I normally look at archive.org. That's crazy that it's not there anymore. I literally searched it up like a couple of months ago and now it's gone. Anyway, what is a hacker? Because I think that society has a very skewed perspective on it. Everything we do here is for educational purposes. Nothing is to be motivated or make people want to do something for any malicious form. Like a hacker doesn't necessarily have that malicious form baked in. Hey, cat. Hold on. We got a cat visitor. A hacker is a person that can creatively and logically think outside of the box in order to achieve a certain goal. Um, it's hard to explain to individuals that aren't within the programming space, but just like in a math equation, right? You can do a lot of different processes in order to get to your answer. Two students will do two different methods in order to achieve the same end goal answer, the A, B, C, or D option, right? This is why many times we want as teachers to see the progress, the step by step of what the student did in order to verify, one, that the steps were taken correctly based on algebra, and that the student understands, and many times we can be impressed. Okay, you're making my camera go funky, cat. We can be impressed with students' processes. You're too black. You make camera go bye-bye. Okay, bye-bye. We can be impressed by how the student gets to the end result. Especially I've had a lot of students that would essentially like show a sense of understanding for algebra that would be beyond what level they're in because they found a new way to go to the answer, which is perfect. This is the concept that you can achieve the same end result going multiple different ways. As a mathematician, I try to teach students, and as an educator, I try to teach students how to achieve the same goal in different ways. So it's a bit more, well, easier for them, but also to show them the dominance of understanding the steps they're taking fully. Not just, oh, step one, do this, step two, do this, step three, do this, and you're done. And you got your answer. Good job. Now go do the test. There's an understanding that comes in the form of understanding a language or just copying and pasting sentences to achieve some sort of communication. Math is a language, by the way. So when we think of hacking, it's the same level of calculation, the same level of understanding, and also the same level of creative thought that goes into achieving a goal to get to an end result. Now, society looks at hacking as malicious people that are just there to screw with you. They're not too wrong, but give anyone any tools and they will have multiple different types of people. You have your people that are going to use that tool for constructive purposes, and then people that will use that tool for diminishing malicious purposes. It's just the psychological human mindset. We're not perfect, and as we have more of us in human space, there's a higher chance we're going to have a couple of rotten eggs, if you will. But understanding what is done is important, regardless of the case scenario. And this is why we're going to go into, again, this time I want to do gray hack in the form of online. I'm going to go online. Probably going to get hacked a bunch of times, which is fine. That's the whole point, right? But I wanted to make go into my account online because I do have an online account from a long, long time ago, but there's been so many updates, it's probably going to reset me. So we'll see. I am currently on my Linux system, if you haven't noticed. This is Linux. And look at that. It's got Steam. Ooh. And this is a sense of hacking. Not really. It is, in a way. Going to achieve a goal of running games that Windows would run, but on a Linux system. Someone out there decided to make this sort of port, this ability for Linux systems to use, well, convert Windows-based games to Linux. Because in the end, Windows didn't program any of this. They didn't make the ability for an exe to run or a game to run on a Linux system. That wasn't the point. The point was to maintain that on a Windows computer so that you can buy a Windows computer knowing that you can game on it. Monopoly of corporations. And in order to circumvent this monopoly, Steam was like, hey, we've been working on this. We got a Steam Deck running on a Linux system, and we can play games on it. Literally every single game I've played so far works. This is a sense of hacking, not to intrude in other people's computers, but to transform an original feature or an original product to uh, expand its capabilities. That is the point that we're really looking at. So we're going to be looking at Greyhack. It's not even version 1 yet. Jeez. If you're not familiar with Greyhack, we're basically going to load up in a virtual environment that is connected to this sort of intranet between players, which is pretty cool. And you can host websites with each other. You can have IRC-based communications. It's so cool. It's so cool. It kind of reminds me of the early 2000s. And we're gonna grow. We're gonna be a new programmer. Well, not a new programmer. I'm a decent programmer. I'm a noob hacker. I'm not one person that just hacks for a living, or even cybersecurity level stuff. But we're gonna go from programmer, noob hacker to elite, essentially. Number 1, it is recommended, or it's not recommended, to use any of your real-life passwords in this game, since these passwords can be discovered by other players and are accessible by any administrator of the game server. So, mind your place, mind where you are, and do not do the things you do in real life in here. This is like the first breach of the third wall. Don't pretend this is real life. And don't do this in real life, in essence. Don't use the same passwords, don't attempt the same things in real life, because in real life it is illegal. So we have a little sandbox here to play around with, and then actually learn in the process. And not harm people, that's kind of the important factor here, right? Alright. I do have an account. Oh, there we go. Following content may not be published in multiplayer. We're real personal information. Oh, true. Yeah, see, it is pretty much like the internet in here. Like literally the internet. You can make your own mini internal or intranet websites. And it can, because people are people and some people are rotten, you're gonna run into situations where people post things in a game that are, well, these things. Promoting projects. You gotta really like put yourself in a game and really separate yourself from real life. Hello, Alvira Boo. Alvira Boo. One name. What's up? How you doing? Hope you're doing good, bud. And yeah, we're gonna agree. I'm not really planning on doing anything stupid in here. We're just here for the educational purposes of learning how and what a hacker does do. How they do the things they do. Now, it's not going to be a step-by-step of real life. In fact, the nice thing about this is that it's very close in the naming conventions and some of the processes we do, but it does have a layer of obfuscation that doesn't necessarily go down to the lower level of how hacking actually is done. It maybe could be more like a script kiddie sort of thing, but hey, let's go for it. Hmm. Because it is going to be a sense of strength of password. But if they do get the file in the first place, then you're essentially going to be pretty screwed anyway. Because you can decrypt file passwords no matter how difficult they are. So the password difficulty is not too crazy as long as it's not guessable. Because someone or another player on the net can essentially grab or connect to your computer through exploits, right? Regardless of the password itself, they can access your computer through an exploit. So then they can get the password file and then decrypt the password file and essentially get the password. So I'm not going to be using anything super overcomplicated, but I would be using something that is okay. At least some form of difficult to guess. Start installation. Oh, there we go. I don't necessarily want to go through the tutorial. I will be your tutorial, so hang in, lock in. Let's get a little bit of environment going. Wait, is this internal music? Hey, they got some soundtracks happening in here. Very nice, very nice. So here's our operating system. This is where we begin, and in a way, it very much does look like a Linux system. You got the bar on the top, you've got some indicators in the top right, your Wi-Fi connection, currently hard to see. Let me adjust this a bit here. There we go. Wi-Fi connection, username, all the jazz. So it's very reminiscent. If you've ever run a Linux or have done live USBs or a virtual machine and VirtualBox, any of those options, you've seen what another operating system looks like. If you haven't seen another operating system, well, let me be your tour guide. The first thing to always keep in mind is when you're looking around in these guys, check out where your options, menus, and, well, detailed processes are. First, we got a top left menu here. Nothing too crazy. We do have a list of programs. Cool. That's actually new. Nice. We got a preference set, so let's see what we have in the preferences. We have users on the current system. I don't think I can make new users. No, I don't think so. We got a karma level based on what we do and how we approach certain missions and what missions we even do in the first place. Because you can essentially assist the law enforcement as a hacker, which makes sense, right? You can choose your path as a hacker, and that's kind of the whole point, right? Hackers aren't inherently evil. Rather, it's a tool that can be used by different types of people aligned with different morals. So there that is, there this is, I have 0 XP. Okay, streaming. Okay. I like that. So I'm probably gonna have to do this because if somebody's like looking through any of my things and then trying to get in my account, I mean, this is essentially like really looking in that format, right? I'm actually in a virtual machine, setting up my base of operations, and anyone looking at the stream can just kind of like really use that to their advantage. So copy and paste hidden IPs by double clicking with the mouse and pressing Control Shift. Double clicking, Control C, Control Shift C, terminal, Control C. Oh, terminal is Control Shift C, V. Regular is Control C, V. Okay, so this is gonna be a bit of a adjustment since I won't be able to see certain things. And again, this is an online multiplayer game. The reason I'm gonna be hiding IPs, emails, and banks is because we are on an online live format. This is the first time, second time. Wait a minute. I've played this before, so I don't really... Oh, I completely reset me, huh? Yeah, I did, didn't it? So I guess my old save didn't really pass through on the updates, which makes sense. They got some new features in here. Alright, so I'm gonna hide those details. Ooh, excuse me. A little bit of saliva down the wrong pipe. And of course, server rules like any other Discord. None of this, none of that, none of this, none of that, none of this, none of that, none of this. Essentially. Oh, wait, what's capture the flag rules? The mission require a minimum level of difficulty. Abusing the system or by creating very easy missions is not allowed. Asking players to rate your mission with a specific score is not allowed. Ah, you can create your own capture the flags and different servers around the net. So you can essentially like give other players missions, be like, hey, this computer on this IP address, get in it, you get X amount of money. Capture the flag, right? It counts. None. Mouse? Okay, sure. Ooh, can we get a little bit of green in here? Title remote connection. Oh, that's alright. I'm not gonna go too crazy in the customizing. Let's shake this down a notch. That's alright. Alright, that's better, right? That's good. Cool. Installation. Ah, the hardware. So we're not really... I would be so happy if they put like this sort of like 3D world behind the PC so you can stand up from your PC, modify it, you know, kind of run and exist in a 3D environment. But this is how we're going to manage our hardware through this quote-unquote application. Got a network card, PVT411, Wi-Fi, hard drive. Look at that, 350 megabytes. This is truly early 2000s, late 1990s. That's crazy. We got a generic power supply, got a RAM. So if I wanted to upgrade the RAM GPU slot, I would need to DDR1. That hurts. If I wanted to upgrade my RAM, I would have to basically get a new motherboard. Potentially, I'm not sure exactly. There's all the hardware down here. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can upgrade motherboards and stuff. Okay, anyway, so that's our settings. What else we got up here? Help, reboot, shutdown, basically leaves. All right. Top right. Oh. Cool little add-on. They got a little music space up here. I like it. What's this? CPU usage, 0. Idle. RAM? Memory. Really? The operating system is using 31 megabits. That sounds like Tiny Linux to me. We're setting up base vibe finder. We're setting up control, system control in our Greyhack simulator game. The first thing I need to do is connect to the network. So, if you've seen my other video on Greyhack, this is essentially how you connect to a Wi-Fi that you don't have access to. You do need special hardware in real life, but here, it's basically already set up for us. So the first thing we do is, well, get used to our commands. We have ifconfig? No, ipconfig. Oh, okay, that's that. Okay, so these are not gonna really work in the same former way. Get router. Okay, no. So we'll do airmon. These are our options for airmon. Airmon is a monitor software, a wireless card monitor software. What it does is basically sets your card to a specific mode. It has to have a hardware that supports this monitor mode, where it can actually communicate with the router itself through ping. The OS is not a real OS, guys. This is let's go back to the start. If you're coming in just now, we're playing Grey Hack. This is a emulator on basically a online community where you run in a simulated environment, a simulated internet, and you code in Gray script, which is very similar to like a Python. I think it was Python. Yeah, more like Python. And you create scripts, you hack things, but it's all in the simulated environment. So it's not a specific OS. Keep that in mind. This is a game simulator that will essentially, well, emulate a whole hacking environment. And it's multiplayer. So if you're playing this game right now, you could try and hack me as I'm trying to set myself up. So good luck on that one. I mean, I'm not really set up. I'm not even connected to the internet. So technically can't access just yet. But okay, back to this. So airmon is our monitor mode, and we can set the wireless card to be in this mode. Now in real life, I remember doing this way back when I was 16, there's a chipset called Atheros, Atheheros. This chipset is what has the ability, or was the only one on the market, I think, that would actually allow monitor mode. So you'd have to hunt for a specific wireless card that had an Atheros chipset. In this world of simulation, I'm pretty sure the card doesn't matter. We're just basically using our monitor mode here. So we're going to do airmon WLAN 0. We're stating I want my main wireless card, WLAN 0, to be in monitor mode. Oh yeah. Start. Now it's in monitor. So now you can see the difference here. True versus false. We are in monitor mode. Now we got to capture packets. So this is a case of like understanding wireless and how that works, right? Wireless is just a bunch of signals. It's not directed from point A to point B. Wireless, anything, is a dispersal through the air, like radio waves, like a walkie-talkie. You're not specifically connecting from point A to point B like a wire. You're spamming signals all over the place, so anyone can connect or sniff these particular wireless signals. Think about magnetic fields, think about wireless technology, and all that jazz in between. We are going to sniff our surroundings with a monitor mode enabled system. And we're going to use air replay. I need a couple of things here. I need BSS ID and an ESS ID. A W list. What was it? W list? Hold on. Gotta figure out what the commands were in here. This is where probably using that little manual is gonna help out. What commands are built in, baked into the system. Basic commands. Looking for... No? Network commands. There we go. I did. Oh. Huh? Oh, right. IW list and then WLAN 0. I forget. There we go. So these are our surrounding, or the closest wireless signals to us. Now I can essentially identify which one I want to sniff. We've got the BSS ID, which is a typical way to identify a hardware by its a bit more complicated version of an IP address. It's a hardware address, broadcast type of address. And an ESS ID, which would be the actual name that we would give it in the sense of human readable form. So what I want to do is air replay on IWLAN 0. BSS ID, I want to get the best signal, so we'll get this guy here. And then ESS ID, which is Polo OT4. Okay, maybe I don't need the IWLAN part, because we're already in monitor mode. There we go. So now, a couple of things that happen here. We've got authentication successful, give or take, not authenticating with the router to access it. Rather, we are sending a type of packet that requests authentication. And in the handshake between a wireless router and a computer device, you're looking at a constant communication back and forth. So my computer would be sending a signal saying, hey, I want to authenticate. The router is like, okay, what's your password? And then it sends that packet that we sniff. And then we say, hey, I want to authenticate. The router's like, okay, but what's your password? And the computer says, hey, I want to authenticate. And the router's like, okay, but what's your password? So this communication repeats. It's a repetitive spam that basically keeps asking, I want to connect. Give me your packets so I can grab those packets, save them into a capture file. And because those packets are encrypted by that sort of password encryption process of what you would do normally, right? Whenever you put a password on anything, you're essentially encrypting it as a key. Your password is the key to the encryption. Like if you had an equation, the password is like the variable that decrypts and reverses the encryption. So we're basically constantly sending these association requests. Hey, I want to associate. What's your password? Hey, I want to associate. What's your password? About 26,000 packets later, we got quality set of about 12,000 packets, which should be enough. I think it was like 7,000 or 15,000 packets that we have to capture. And then we can basically save that file and then use the other tool, aircrack, which we need to input the file of the captured data itself. So we'll give it a moment. Then I can do, in any case, anytime you want to basically stop your current running program, all you're going to do here is just do Control-C. And there it is, file.cap saved. Now, when you run anything from the terminal, your current directory is where you're saving anything. You make a new file, you make a new directory, you initiate a command that will need to save something, save a file. You're basically looking at the current directory. So I'm going to do ls to list my current directory. There's my set of files. I'm going to go ahead and go into File Explorer. There is the same exact set of files. I haven't really changed my directory from my home directory, so that's why it just kind of saved right there. Very unorganized of me, but I will indeed make a new folder. Call this workspace. Throw that in the workspace. I don't like how it copies instead of like just like moving, actually moving. So I'm gonna rm the cap file. There it is, it's gone. I'm gonna cd into workspace. And there's my file dot capture. From here, I'm gonna decrypt this file. Aircrack file dot cap. Key found. That was quick. Now, unrealistic for this case scenario. This could normally take like a week depending on the security encryption, the type of security involved, WEP, WPA, all different factors of security. So again, we are in a simulated environment and we're taking basically the easiest way to do the tasks that we do here. So that's why I just kind of hacked it right away or cracked it and found that add max is the password for this Wi-Fi. So now we can go to Polo, throw in the confirm the password and connect. There we go. Now we have internet. And now I pray I'm gonna be safe on the net. Because I am streaming, and if anyone else plays this game, they can use probably a lot of context clues if they're good to find me in this game. G-search. So now we gotta look for a couple of things. I think I should have like... I don't actually have anything, right? Yeah. I think the first thing we need to do is get a mail client or a mail account. Email service. Create the account. Hey. Oh. Oh, and the username. Ah. Sure. Hey, I did that. Choose username. Oh, is it because I'm using an extra on? Okay, so it has to be alphanumeric, meaning that I can't use symbols. Fine. Email received. Watching you. There we go. It's gonna censor all of the details that would lead it to me. That's nice. Hi, you do not know me. I monitor new users who registers on remote machines like yours. So we got a... Well, not a fan. Got a big brother over here. You may want privacy for some projects you are developing, or you may want to earn some money like most people. If you're interested, I can give you access to my private server, but before I need you to do something for me. You can consider it a test. I need the credentials of this email. Belongs to Gerardo. The mail client leaves a configuration file on the person's computer with the encrypted password. So this is actually pretty cool. Because like if I'm like live doing this and showing my screen and you can see everything, someone else could intercept my attempt to hack this not real person. This is a NPC, right? So this Gerardo, I could try and go into the mission and then somebody else could come in and cut me off and completely disconnect me. So this is where like the good cop, bad cop starts to play. Or good cop, cops and robbers? Cops and robbers starts to play. So like this whole kind of concept here is, hey, you're playing a game where you're in a connected environment, but if somebody notices you're in a place you're not supposed to be, like you're playing around a network that you're not supposed to be in, they can actually cut you straight off and basically throw you out. So, okay, so I have a decipher program that I can take. I think I need to also make a bank account. Oh. Oh, register. Ah, by email, right. Redacted. Great, thank you. Alright, so now I have an account. Login, 0 balance. Hoorah. Alright. Now, the only thing I like, really much like about the internet version, the online version of this, is they got people already making websites here. Let's look around a bit. Feeling lucky. Propugnatu, access granted, Great Defense Initiative, teaching and securing the digital frontier. Enter our app store to get the latest GDI apps with the basic access. Should you need a passcode or license key, feel free to contact Anti-Hack. Ooh, Wi-Fi Master. Happy Viking Day. Player Scanner. V-Scanner. That's cute. So this looks like a custom server somebody made. And when you do this, you're essentially trying to seek a way to make money, right? At least as legitimately as possible. So you're looking at some of these, probably free. Cool, these are free. I don't know if I trust any of these. Anyway. Unless I can see the code and verify from source that I could use something without it being broadcasted to a place that I don't want it to be placed. And this is like a real life thing. You shouldn't be installing anyone's software on your computer because a very easy back port can be scanning home and saying, hey bud, somebody's just downloaded your app, look at his IP address, let's say hello. And you just don't want to be running software online, especially in real life, that somebody else is hosting. This does seem tempting to use other people's software, but also there could be a hidden Trojan inside. The case scenario though is this is where the real kind of beef is. Like when you make your own site hosted server, you're essentially kind of creating a store, and you can sell hardware as well to other players, which is another way to make money without being the hacker on the other side, without doing the thing. But I'll go ahead and save that. It's a cute website. Maybe I'll use it for reference. I do want to find source though. Let's do some source search. Come on, what the heck is up with my D? My D and my keyboard's acting funky. Non-payment, so you have to pay for the server. I guess this person didn't really pay for his server. Oops, sorry, buddy. Source code. Is that it? That's the only thing? Okay, popular websites. Let's look around a bit. 0x0 presents Exploiter, your no-frills hack tool to get the job done quietly. That's cute. Again. Why would you give me a terminal? Wait, I mean, I guess if you deleted your own terminal. That's cute. Let's add that to the list. But I wouldn't be the one downloading those. Ever. Omni. Also another non-payment. Okay. Why does it not go to G-search when I go backwards? Injected by Venom, so somebody hacked these guys. Gotcha. See, you can hack each other and essentially leave gobbledygook as your capture the flag moment. Ghostgrass. Real SQL query, select, insert, update, delete. Finally, real SQL databases in Greyhack. Ghost GRes brings you complete database system. Okay. That's cool. They're literally building their own infrastructure inside of this game. Get custom object, Ghostgrass, null, get shell, Ghostgrass. I guess one way you can always create a text file. I don't know if they have JSON in here, but there's a way you can manage the actual concept of data management with a simple file. But it will take extra time to organize your data. db.q, db Ghostgrass driver, Ghostgrass in-memory driver new, create table test, ID serial primary key content. Yeah, this is literally just like SQL. Insert into text or record in db.q, select ID content from test, record. That would make a lot of things faster. That's nice. Very nice. Let's see what else. Oh, come on. Oh no, I should have. Hold on. No. No. Ghostgrass. I like this. It's cool. What about downloads? GSQL, GHostgrass, Notes app, source, Notes app. Example Notes application. Oh, your notes go into the G. Man, I like playing this game, it looks all so tempting, but I'm also like super on edge and not trusting of anything. Celestial's shop. Visit files page on the top, download files. Let's see. I want just pure, ooh, a lot of SL library files. I want some pure, come on. There we go. Not libraries. This is gonna be libraries. I want some pure source files. Why does no one give out source files? Open source, come on. Purple. Fox coding. There you go. Cool, cool. Kernel router. So you need these SO type files to do any sort of hacking. These are the libraries for those particular sets of things. If you do any meta exploit forms of injection or exploitation of libraries that exist on a system, one, you have to make sure this particular file exists on their system. And if not, you can inject it if you can access that computer. And then you can introduce an exploit that you may already have. And then you can essentially exploit it from the outside. But that's kind of the key, right? It's a difference of, do you have access to the computer? Can you inject a file that has exploitable exploits? Exploitable exploits, right? And then do you have the ability to exploit it, as in your Metasploit specifically? All right, so how about just straight up code shop? Or just code. Access, oh, back to here. BTC. Hackshot. BTC prototype. BTC, what, Bitcoin is up in here? What? Okay. Oh, I gotta find my way. Tools. Tools? Was it tools that I searched? Docs, contact. Ghostgress again. CDA. These are the main sites. Interesting. Also done. Scripts. The Bay. Also. So we're just scouring to cookie clicker. No way! You feel like making cookies. Are you kidding me? There's a stupid fucking cookie clicker game. I bet you I'm getting hacked in the process. Something's happened in the background. Are you trying to hack me? Wait. Cookies! Alright, I'm not doing this. Sorry. That was weird. That's so weird. This would be this. What if all this AI crap basically screws over our real internet, where we literally exist right now, YouTube's and all that stuff? It just screws it over, and then it just slop everywhere, and all of us just enter this kind of simulated environment and create our own internet. 'Cause this is literally what's happening here. It's just a simulated environment. Oh, all right. Cache, cache wrapper, cache API. What is cache? What are you caching me about? Bank API registration and client welcome about. Client is used for account registration, account management, and transactions within the client. Okay, great. Not interested. I'm looking for raw scripts. Source. I remember at one point, this is what I would do to find, yeah, to find actual guides. Not guides, but the source code you can take a look at. Now, here's the thing, too. I don't have to necessarily do this. I should be able to go to manual, go to scripting, or metalib. Let me see. But the first thing I'll need is some sort of network tools, right? So router, that's the API. Let me see. You can hack smart appliances, set alarm, override model. These are all objects that relate to that stuff. Hold on. Where's the actual scripts though? Oh yeah, they got the guide on here, huh? Yeah, this is programming, guys. It's the best way to learn, honestly. Change password, connect Wi-Fi, get shell.host computer. So this doesn't give me the source code like it used to. Grrr. This is the API itself. That's fine. Terminal programs. Network commands. We've been here. Well, okay, there is a source code, right? So I can go to ifconfig, go to source code. This is what ifconfig does. So there is a sense of you can learn from example. Aircrack, for instance. Source code. I cannot open the RAM is limited. Close this down. Open. Nope. Still RAM is limited. Do have a lot of stuff open, huh? Close that. There we go. So the issue, this is where it's cool and still a little bit off, is even something like a aircrack, you're including a crypto.so library, checking to see if it exists, if it's there in that library space. And then you will find the path of a parameter. The parameter is going to be the file you are trying to crack, just like we did earlier with that terminal. It'll look for the file. If it doesn't find it, or it doesn't actually see the parameter here, it's going to say, hey, you can use H or help to go forward and get some details. If it does find it, because it does have an exit here, right? That would end the whole command at this point. That's kind of the key too. It says, hey, you don't have the file listed in your parameters when you typed in. Let me kind of give an example here, right? Where's my terminal? When I do, let's say, aircrack, and then I don't do anything, watch what happens. Aircrack usage, right? It's talking about the usage here. Right here. Command info usage. And it's basically spitting out a help if I don't use the right thing the right way. All by using an if statement. Then, but if I do enter it, let's go to cd to workspace, and then do the same thing, aircrack file.cap. Then this is parameter 0 right here, and the space after. It's gonna find that the length is not equal to 1. If the parameter is not equal to 1, which it won't be true because we have a single parameter listed, it'll skip this whole line and then it'll continue down since we've entered it. But then it's going to check, hey, is this file existing? Right? So if I do file.cap2, not found. Makes sense. It's checking against the coded verification process. If it doesn't find it, if file equals null, because in this case, we're trying to find that file through a get shell.hostcomputer.file. This is essentially, the get shell is what you would use to connect or interact with a computer remotely or through this particular script. Once you connect into a computer, you can attempt to get a shell from that computer, and then from there, you should be able to get the host computer that you're connected to, and then you can go through and look for files if you wanted to. But we're saving it as a variable. Then we're going to check that file on that host computer, see if it's actually there. If it's not, boom, we get an error. So we're just going to go back. It did find it. In this case, when I put the correct file name instead of cap2, it's going to look around. Okay, is it a binary? Is binary is a built-in normal case scenario. All languages have a couple of checks that they can do on different things. Is it a string? Is it an integer? Is it a character? Is it null? All of these kind of checks that are built in. If it's a binary, it can't process it. So in this case, a binary would mean like here's a bunch of binaries, right? So if I do aircrack slash airmon, bin airmon, can't process the file, not a valid file cap. So this is where we ran this particular exit scenario. We gave it a binary file. Then there's another case scenario if I have permission or not. Depending on the user login that you're actually in at the moment. Like right now, we're roots, we're on our computer, so we're just essentially acting as the administrator. We can access anything. But if we're connecting to other computers, we may have a very limited sense of accessibility. So there is a check for permission, and this is going to be that case. Do we have at least read permission? If we don't, it exits with permission denied. Now, we shouldn't have that issue. I'm not going to emulate that to show what happens, but since you've seen all the other possibilities, this is very straightforward as well. You'll probably see this in the future as we get into other people's computers. Key equals crypttools dot aircrack dot path. This is fun. Like, this is kind of where the obfuscation layer of the actual hacking happens to be. This, to me, seems like a built-in application in Greyhack itself that you call from the crypto tools library. We don't see how it's built. It could be completely magic, or it could be just basically a feature of the whole thing, right? The whole feature of Greyhack is to be able to decrypt files. So basically, it could be if file cap this, then return password, right? It could be so simple that we don't even see it from the front end user space. But the idea still is that this is how we would import certain libraries that help us crack stuff. Then if key found, here's the key. And then there's a case where we might not get the key. Now, what does this aircrack, what does that file look like? It's a binary file. Oh, that's interesting. It is a binary file. So then there's an interesting case. If it's if it's not binary. Oh, backwards. If it's not a binary file. But all of those bins that we saw earlier, they're binary files too. They're compiled, sure, but they're still binary. A little bit of discrepancy there. All right, so our shell interface. This is not installed by default, and it must be installed from other places. Well, you know what we have? We have a code editor. And you know what we can do? We can compile source codes. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hijack this, save it as a compiled form. Let's make a source folder. I might want to modify this in the future. Reverse shell.src, src. And then we're going to run to compile. Build it, workspace. Oh, I don't want to do it in the workspace. I want direct access to it. So I'm going to do new folder here. exe. It's my executables. Reverse shell. There. So even though we don't have to get it or we don't have it, this program is not installed by default. We've just essentially installed it, quote unquote. There it is, reverse shell. We don't even see what it does, so let's look at the code here. Include Metasploit, so we need Metasploit to actually have this, which makes sense if we're doing an R shell interface and we're trying to get into a reverse shell system. We're going to be using Metasploit to exploit weaknesses in said system. We have 0 shells. We're going to try and open up a shell. Type of shell is a string. Then exit shells. If it's 0, then wait 2. Okay, while type of option is not number, or option is less than 1, or option is greater than shells.length. Shells connected, select the shell to start. Okay, so this detects if we do have any shells particularly. So where would I find this? Would be, I believe, the client. Now in coding, there's two senses of connections, or two types of programs that exist. There's client and server. Server is normally host code. So if you install a server on a system, it's active, it's listening, and it's waiting for commands. This would be normally the case that you want a server. Is this the server though? To run on an other person, a target's computer. The server will run on another target's computer and then wait for your connection to access. Now, in order to install it on a target computer, you do need access and permissions. So there's a whole kind of layer by layer of the onion that we have to take apart before we can get into the heart of the system. But, oh, let's see. Reverse shell. Can't find Metasploit. Really? I don't have it defaulted? Okay, can I find it? R shell server. Ah, there we go. So, okay, let me get the R shell server. Gonna save this. SRC, might need to change it. Save. And we're gonna build this into our exe space. Make sure you let yourself know which one's which. You don't want to run a reverse shell server on your computer, because then somebody else can sniff it out and connect. Now my question then becomes, can I just install this in the same stuff? Add repo. Hackshop IP. Let me see Hackshop. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. Yes, that is what I'm looking for. Good. So I do need nmap. There's our SSH server. This is useful again on another system because that lets us use a particular protocol access. Let's see what this one does. Exploit report. This one should be a visual user. Ah, memory zone, unsecure value. This is where we can now go into specifics of creating our own exploits through figuring out what's the library running on that machine, what's the memory zone affected. This would be, I think, I wonder. God, was that the case for using Metasploit generally, or there's another way to find out those factors? We'll have to scour through our given source code here. So I do want Metasploit. That's the thing I need. Come on, click it. Why can't it focus on that window? So let's find Metasploit. This is also a... Oh. That's not fair. This is also a type of very common tool, Metasploit. Here's a... Ah! Ready to search. Just give me version 1, right? That's the only thing I need. Take advantage of vulnerability in the Metasploit service. That's funny. But what versions are we dealing with here? Can I do 101? No. 105? Should be just a 101, right? Or 100, right? That's the only thing I need here. That's the problem, though. The library. These are tools for exploiting that library, so it's not necessarily like I'm getting that particular library on my computer, but I need that SO library. Let's look around. Can I look at the source code? No. I can't look at the visual applications. Oh, wait, what? Hardware, firewall. True, this is actually the routers. Yep, the routers and switches that give us some hard time sometimes. All right. Well, let's see if we can play around with what we have so far, right? So we need to connect this. The IP is this. I have nmap. That's actually what I was really looking for now. Nmap is the way to go. It is a Z-way. So nmap, and then we're going to copy this and then paste it here. All right, so we've got 2 layers of IP addresses. One is being obviously redacted. Why? Because as I'm hacking this person or this NPC, you don't look at my stream to stream snipe me and take that IP address and then go in front of me and then stop me from doing the thing I'm doing. So that's kind of the key, right? This is a public IP address that if you're playing this game on the same, I mean, not same network, it's just a online multiplayer website. If you're playing this game with me right now, as we are together speaking, you would be able to use that IP address and see that as well as me seeing it simultaneously. We can both connect to that same location. We can go inside of a computer and leave some files and say, hey, how you doing? And, oh, I'm doing good. How are you? And just like literally talking on another person's computer. That's the whole kind of cool thing about this game, is that it's a simulation, but it's also network intranet connected. So players can also hack each other in this environment. And that's why you see a lot of redacted stuff, because I don't want you to get in my space, you know what I mean? I can technically turn it off and then you can see what I'm doing, but I don't trust you yet. You're in my stream. I don't know you that well, you know what I mean? All right, so we've got a SSH connection here, cool. But I need to have an access point, which would be, this is an internal system, so there is a port. How do I scan firewalls or routers? Let me see. I need to learn to close stuff down. I need more RAM is what I really need. Okay, router. Returns a list of strings with firewall rules present in the router switch. No parameters listed. Local IP. Get router.local IP. That's some things I want to play around with at some point. Maybe I'll do it now. Port info. Ports router or equals get router. Device ports, looking at a specific device. Take a LAN IP address and returns a list with open ports accessible in the network. A LAN is a local area network device, so I can't quite go across the network because this would be a global IP address. So that's the only caveat here. This would be a perfect thing to do or have if I can do this to a router. Returns a string with public address of the router. Okay, great. Get router. Returns a list with any computer whose gateway is the current device. ESSID, name, value of the router, ping port. Returns a port which the object is behind. So there would be another like router scan that I would normally find online. Although, if I don't find it, I'm gonna have to probably make it by hand. Kernel router. Okay, so give me no Metasploit here. libhttp, libssh, kernel router, safe lib kernel router. Let me see, nmap. That's the only thing it does, unfortunately. Do I have this place saved? Not yet. Let's add it. Celestial. Let's try another hack shop. Hack shop. ¿Dónde? Huh? Okay, well, you know what? Usage. Oh, SSH. Access to private servers through a backdoor. So SSH is essentially a backdoor, but it does require a password to access. So potentially I can use this as guidance here, not too crazy. Type of port equals number and exit. Password, credential, split. Port, list of port. Add repo. That's the thing I wanted to do. Add a repo. And map. Name, IP address not found. String, then exit ports. Starting nmap 11 at current date. Interesting ports on port info port. So port 22 redirects to LAN 192.168.1.2. And if I have access to it somewhere within here, and technically what, SSH? Yeah, I can try and actually access it, but I don't have any credential values for it. But then again, let me check that email again. That's the email, belongs to Gerardo. A mail client leaves a configuration file on the person's computer with encrypted password. You will need that file to crack the password. Put it easy. IP address of the victim's computer is this. I have attached a program that may be useful. The decrypting program, yes. Can I send a new mail? And funny game. This should open. Enter IP address code full shooter. Enter port number. Backdoor. The backdoor should point to the current location, so 0.0.0.0.0. And let's do port 23, or let's do 20,023, 22. So it should open a shell that I can then access. Public IP address. Ah, true. Okay, so the public IP address is this. But then that would mean the router would have, the router doesn't port it through, so it would work on the computer, but not necessarily. Well, maybe I can just hijack it with a 22. Let's hijack the current one. Ah, I don't know your email address, and I'm not going to run it. Come on, Gerardo. Come on, Gerardo. Come on, Gerardo. Okay, so he's not gonna run the actual reverse shell directly. Hmm. He is running a SSH server on there. My question was, where did I find that? Let's look up web address. Address unknowing the name of the web. IP address knowing the name of the web. Unmapped, FTP, airmon, air replay, sniffer. I forget about that one. What's that do? Oh, I want that Metasploit. Metasploit equivalent blue current path. God, where do they stick the stupid Metasploit application? Scan router! That's what I need. But I will need that Metasploit, won't I? No. This is the one. This is the one. That's the one I need. Alright, save the source code. The SRC for later. Important. Build a working compiled version. Then scan router on the IP address we just did. Scanning. No rules found. Scanning kernel library. It's 341. No rules found. Oh. Okay. Scan library. There's decipher. That's the thing that he gave us. That's all we got here. Scan library. To search for vulnerabilities. Yeah, we'll want this too. That one requires Metasploit. Again, still looking for that sucker. Can I not do an apt get? Ah. Yes! Okay, so it's got to be in libs now. Okay. I didn't know they added this. Okay, no. Wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Where's my Metasploit? You said you downloaded it. Downloading Metasploit. Where's my Metasploit? Did it download to the current library? Alright, now we just gotta go through every single directory and figure out where the hell did it put the freaking. Nobody's supposed to be in lib. Maybe user lib? Kernel module net so probably user lib. No, that's not gonna be in bin. It's not a executable. Oh my god. Where did it download my Metasploit package? That's just configurations. Nothing in there. Is it in my downloads? That makes no sense for an apt-get. No. Desktop? No. Config? No. Would be a guess. That makes no sense. If I downloaded Metasploit, it would be literally in that mother effing library folder. Bin of app cache bin that found launch app with the oh. Okay, maybe we gotta do this first. Metasploit not found on in the server. Oh, come on. They said downloading. Ay, ¿por qué, Maria? Okay, well, I gotta find a repo for it. Yeah, you can work for the police here. Great. They're the same pages I've seen before. What the hell are these things? Weird. Okay. Man, it was so easy to get Metasploit before. Why is it so difficult to find it now? And it's not even the actual, like... Ah... Interesting. Okay, well... I think this is a sniffer, right? I'm pretty sure I have a sniffer. Oh, I didn't download it? No, I did not. I'm reading so much crap. Let's grab a sniffer as well. Which requires fucking Metasploit. So... Well, let's at least save that source. Let's build it. No, I can easily go online and cheat and figure out where to find it, but that's not what I like to do. I like to explore. I think. We'll see. I'm kind of getting to the point. Looking for a command that might potentially have this. All right, you know what? Yeah. Go to hacker shop, click tools. Literally been doing that this whole freaking time. Something's broken. One, there's no hacker shop anymore. Thought I just did it earlier. It should be here. I know every single time I've been through these, Metasploit was one of the first few options. Something's broken. Like it would be literally next to nmap. Even because literally... Oh my god! Oh, but I can't buy it, can I? Can I? Please let me buy it. Yeah! Alright. Right. Fucking finally! Why wasn't it there before? Different shop. I like this shop. Add to list. Not that I need anything else from there, but add it anyway. Jeebus. The pain, it hurts. It hurts the pain. Alright, so now I have Metasploit. I will add this to my exe folder. Good, right? Just in case I need it locally. I will also add it to my lib. 2 copies. And I'll delete it from here. Good. Very good. Yeah. Okay. So we just scan lib cd to exe again. No. Let me see what sniffer does again. Okay, so it's basically just gonna sniff. Good. Okay, great. I'll let that do the thing anyway. It's good to manage and sniff. See what's going on if anyone's trying to connect to me. So let's do again nmap to that email. I need some notes. Oh, this actually doesn't hide it. Wonder if it hides the IP? Probably won't. Alright. Don't care at this point. There's only one port open. SSH into that. Ah, that's just an IP. I have to scan it locally. Got it. So I have to take in a library offline and scan it locally. Okay. So it doesn't look like there's any other than direct SSH. Is there a way to exploit SSH? SCP, add to upload file. It's a Caesar cipher? Lol. Now, potentially, I'll need to go into scripting, using Metasploit, loading path net use, connects to the specified address, a null session to gain access to a library remotely. This type of attack is only available for services that work remotely. If no port is specified, it will connect directly to the router. If the process has been executed, an object type in that session. Alright, so now probably won't need this, rather this. Yeah, now let's grab our library. Which is for a specific library file, so I don't need that much. That's listing memory and all that jazz. So once I get Metasploit, can I do netu Metasploit? Let's do ms. Fuck it. Okay, hold on then. Oh, what? Oh. Exploit. Derp. Net session. Okay. So it returns a net session. No, no net session. Port not found. 22. But it's there. It is there. Port 22 open on an SSH. That should be fine. Should be there. No port not found. 22 int. String IP address. Int. I guess maybe I do port equal? No. That's just what it is on a default set. I don't think this is gonna do much. Oh yeah. Default to port 0. This will probably connect to my own firewall though. That's the only thing. Now at this point I'm just playing with the code. I need to play more with it before I can really do anything crazy. Runtime undefined identifier router. Yeah, I would have to actually connect to it first. BSSID, ESSID. Oh, device port, string IP address. Well, that might actually just be a router SO that I have to use. This one doesn't use routers. This is how that works, right? Scan router. Get router. Oh, I don't need to do the device ports. Wait, what? Okay, so just grab the router. And we take router. Oh, I have to save it. Alright, let me get used to what these objects are returning as we go forward. Before 1, fine. What's this? Empty. Okay, so if it's empty, no rules. Got it. Source IP destination, those rules would be forwarding rules, so it's a little tricky on this one. Don't think I can get through without dropping something inside or finding the SSH access point through email or talking to the admin, social engineering, that's another one. Alright, or at least the base of operations setup. I think I'll leave it at this for now. I'll probably poke around it a little bit more, get a little more comfortable with the scripting process here, the objects that are being used, how to get around. Before I know, I just basically... Let me do something first, hold on. Before we call this one end, there's also the fun thing we can do. And explore our local network. With scan a lot. Let's scan the lot. So what I actually didn't do a lot of the missions. I just scanned around my current local connection and just hacked whatever was open and available. That's how I made some money back in the days. Alright, so we're here. Got a phone wireless. Got a server device. There's our Holo OT4 that we're connected to. So at least with the given info, I should be able to just kind of work with the current, let's say, scan router on the, what? Yep, 192.168.1.1. I am IP112. There's a HTTP exploitable process 132 and a SSH version. Did I find that last time? Let me do that again. Let's see what version that was 1.08. Right, so I guess the next real step is to find some libraries, some exploits for those, or create one with metalib, which was scanning the memory for possible errors. So I could still break using local processes here. Oh, map. Haha. I am currently in Russia. In the middle of nowhere. Nice. Oh, do-do-do-do-do. What was that library that we saw? Libs? Ah, that's what it was about. Minimum. Got it. Let's look around again. Shop, new. I did save some stuff. Download, shop, exploiter made, no. Home, no. Celestial, no. Shop. But I didn't save the actual, like, library. I'm pretty sure I don't have that version on local. So I have I don't have an SSH at all, actually. Not a library. Now it works. To a report of unburned system libraries. Didn't I have that? No, that's for reporting. Why is it so hard to find again? That's crazy. I remember seeing it. Trusted, wanted. That's cute. Unauthorized intrusion to GBS system and servers. Selling info stealer disguised as H-top on... that's why I don't do it. That's funny. Remember when the internet had the feeling lucky button? It takes you randomly on the web, explore some random website. Oh, that was the day. Domain seized by IZW3. Infected by. Temporarily disabled non-payment. They got effed. This guy's going around defacing websites. Funny. Rainbow tables? Yeah. I just want a byte. Byte.org. Byte.com. Something. Whatever. To find a list of those. Version beta. That's sick. Viper, I remember Viper. Anyway, looks like the popular websites got taken. SafeNet. Decentralized user currency designed for fast, secure, low. Interesting. There it is. I need this. Alright, so this guy's got a libssh 1.0.8. Take advantage of a vulnerability in the SSH service to inject a new password to a registered user. That's the case for this. But what if I just want the library? I'll keep that. What if I want the library itself so that I can hack it myself with my own? Okay, that's fair. I'll keep that. So I can buy it if I wanted to just do it and exploit it directly. There's a library somewhere that I can download any of these libs. Oh. Can I just hold on? What I can probably do is apt-get install libssh. No. Apt-get search libssh. Missing description. That SL? Try. Yeah, true. So it's there, but can I do then 1.0.8? I need that specific version so I can use Metasploit to debug it and figure out where the exploit is. That would be the goal here. Now I gotta find for another tool set. Needing to find a library of interesting. Stupid cookie clicker. How's that doing on here? File finder. Is that the file finder I'm looking for? No. See, I can easily just like script kiddie my way through and just download like a main system like this and then just go ahead and use it. That's not as fun if I can't build it myself. Is it really infected? It's down, ain't it? Yeah, it's down. Deep pirate bar. Non-payment. Oh, loading image, come and hack me website. He's not paying. Also, we need more people on here. Yep, there he is again. It's like, I feel like I'm gone through all of them already. Like, if I go to this one, was it? Shop. SSH server. Crypto.so, librshell.so, and Metasploit.so, but I don't see any other SOs on the list. So I need to find a shop like this with all the SOs. Or I can hack around and collect them, and hopefully I'll find a 1.08 inside of a system that had to be hacked by something else specifically. I mean, for a library like this, it would be an easy download. No, like apt-get install libssh. Like that should be it. Downloading libssh not found on the server. There's something odd about this. It's still not fine-tuned. It still seems a little... Like, I get the concept of trying to make the game difficult, but it seems to be unnecessarily difficult just to find stuff. The difficulty is not in finding a library that's available freely online. The difficulty is taking that library, analyzing and debugging it, and finding an exploit. That's where the difficulty is. I think the difficulty is being placed in the wrong place, the wrong area. It's a tedious search and search and search and search instead of actually trying to like code and trying to figure out how do I hack into this guy's computer with the given set of libraries. Finally found Metasploit. Metasploit took me like half an hour to an hour to find it on the one particular place. Oh, I'm kind of burnt out though. So I'm potentially gonna end it here for now. I might do Watch Dogs next because I still want to test out some of the graphics on my system, but I'm a little hungry, so I'm gonna go eat some noms. Then I'm gonna do a little watchdogs afterwards, see how the system actually works. Although the market is opening up. Let me go ahead and shut down. The market is gonna open up soon. I gotta keep track of that sucker. Also, by the way, background. Yeah, yeah, isn't it cool? Isn't it cool? I did a Python script to take a HTML JavaScript website, or well, HTML. Uh, right here, Python 3 set wall, created a script, took one of my HTML files and created as a background. It's so cool. Let me do another one. Ooh, yes. That's so cool. I don't know how to stop it. I know how to reload it. Apparently, I can right click and reload it, but I have no idea how to stop it. I probably gotta go to processes and kill it or something. But that's pretty sick, ain't it? What about another? Give me another. Woods.html. Nice. That's pretty cool. Although this is not the best wallpaper I've had in the past or made. Not bad. Too many trees in the front though. Ooh, sand waves is my favorite. No, not really my favorite. The other one. The other one. Bring me another. Uh, particle flow, circuit, flubber. Where is it? Water waves? No. Water waves is good though. Trippy to watch. Doesn't. Whoa. The sine wave. Water waves, trig surf. Oh, I think it was a trig surf. There is trigonometry in there. Yeah, this one's my favorite. Anyway, I'm gonna go eat some food. I'm hungry. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you being here. If you watched all the way through, you're awesome. Hope lives are pretty interesting. They're pretty slow sometimes. A lot of it's researching and processing. But if you enjoy these, enjoy next time and interact. Say hello, ask some questions. I had a couple of questions in the beginning, but they left so quickly. And just give it a moment, right? Like I don't got 3 eyes, when I'm looking at one screen, I'm not looking at chat at the same time. Give me a second to look at your message and then consider the lag, man. There's like 20, 30 seconds lag before I actually say it and you receive it on the other end. So if you want to learn, I want to teach, but we got to kind of work on this little impatience part. Some people be coming in, leaving real quick, like asking a question, not waiting for that answer. And mean that it is what it is. Everyone's stuck on shorts, 15-second clips that caters to their short attention span, but I gotta deal with students like that too. It just is what it is. But anyway, that's it for me. Thanks for joining in. Appreciate the time you spent here, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out, homies. Where is it? Hold on.